Welcome, hello, Yasu. Hi, it's me again, Tai, and today it will be the topic energy loss and energy vampirism. Um, Mostly this is mixed up in one pot when you listen to esoteric discussions, but this is two cups of tea if you just got an energy loss or if you are impacted by an energy vampirism. And it is not about only entities who are doing so, also human. And this is why I want to dig into this topic today. Before I get into this, make sure to subscribe my channel if you want to stay updated. And also to the new one, I will introduce a little. My name is Tai Kölner. I'm an author, I'm a black magician, I'm a follower of the draconian path, so the left-hand path. In this regard, I'm a student, so a member of the Order Dragon Rouge. While I'm not a representative or speaker of the Order in my channel, I only represent my works. So if you got any questions, check for the dragonrouge.com and ask your questions there. However, all this channel is about how I challenge my impacts of my magical life, of my daily life, of my prepositions. Sorry, you hear my English. I'm natural born German, so yeah, live with my Gerlish. Yeah, but I'm a natural born empath, so that's what is impacting into my perceptions as well. And about this energy loss and energy vampirism, this is something what is closely connected to percepting what you are doing. So let's first check into what is energy loss in general and what is energy vampirism. Energy vampirism, for example, is often told to be you get into contact with an entity and it will suck you to death. It will drain you from your energy. You lose your temper, you lose your drive, and you don't know what to do else. And you're not that vital anymore. Yeah, if you are not prepared to what you are doing, and if you just jump in there like a little child, so, hey, nice to meet you, who are you? Of course, you are not prepared about how to approach this entity. There are entities, if you're working magically and if you're skilled to even reach them, they are strong, they are old. And if they communicate, they don't communicate in your language. They communicate through energy. So you feel the energy impact and you feel it is strong. And if they get into communication, it might happen that you feel a kind of energy loss towards this other entity. And one thing I can tell you, as for a communication, if somebody is asking you your name, where you're coming from, whatsoever, what the heck are you, uh, this one is not asking you by words. It is reading your energy. How is it reading your energy? By picking energy. And this is how you can do. So, as I just said by breakfast to my husband, if somebody is putting his straw into your coffee, you better do your straw into his coffee. So the losses equally. You will read from the other entity as well. So when another entity is taking energy from you, you are able also to take energy from the other entity. Same applies about human. We are so used to communicate by voice or by writing something, but also that's for my base of my empathic gifts. You can read people. You don't get, he's 7 years old and his name is Rich. No, but you get the energetically frame of this person. And sometimes you even get visions of this person because of this energy impacts, because the energy impact is translated into pictures if you go for meditation, for example. So if you are reading energy of the other person, the other one is reading your energy at the same time, because you're reaching out with your energy. And as your energy impacts reach the other one, he can read you. So he may build a bridge towards you. Again, you see, it's an energy bridge. It's between you and the other person. And the same is about other entities in communication. And if you see somebody is pulling in energy, you just take the same bridge and pull in that one's energy. So now here is a little yin, because if you are connected to an entity or a human who got serious troubles, so to say, both in mundane life or both in, Indian tradition would say a bad karma, you probably may pick up some karmic pattern of this other person too, or some bad impacts of the other person. But ridiculously, this one maybe picks up some bad things from you as well. So this is an equally risk. However, you would never, if you read somebody, you would never drain the other one to death. And the other one basically is not interested in draining you, because most of them don't even know what they are doing. And other entities, if you go for a demon, for example, they are not interested in draining you. They are interested in reading you, your energy, because you're like a little insect crawling on the table, and they are just like, what the heck is crawling by here, right? So they observe you, they want to know what you are, who you are, why you dare to step by and ask or take contact even. And this is why they get into contact with you, not because you're so dangerous, it's because they recognize you. And even this is a big goal already. So if they take contact and if they try to examine what you are, you might feel an energy drain because they are tracking energy to understand you. And in that very moment, you can track energy as well to understand what entity you're contacting right now, because this is elevating your understanding about this existence, about your very being. So now this is all very spiritual and magical, and it is when you are practicing for years. In most cases, we meet up with energy loss or energy vampirism in daily life. Daily life means you got a working mate, a working colleague, who is always grumbling around. So, a bad mood person. And you are the one to blame for everything. So now you got two options. It may track you down. So you totally lose your interest on that work. You don't want to meet this asshole every day. You don't want to talk to this person every day. And so you feel drained by the impact. It also may happen about customers. So you always face the same customer contacts who are not happy with your product or whatsoever, and so they blame on you. There, I got a good hint for you. Try about stoic approach. I did start on this quite a time now ago, not that long, because it was out of need. When you want to read something to get into, I would tell you Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. Read it. It is basically when you recognize that everything around you is first of all around you. So to get into your consciousness, you have to allow the other one to enter your consciousness. So if somebody is grumbling all the time, is blaming on you whatsoever, and it has no meaning to you because you didn't do anything wrong, it's just the other one upset about something, then it is first of all an unfolding of being upset by the other one. But it is not first of all your problem. So you can listen to it, you can try to find a solution, but you don't need to take it personally. I know this is more easy said than done, and this is where this stoic approach really can teach you up in getting a little more coolness about. There are several tactics or philosophies which can help you on your way about this. But this is basically to get a consciousness about what is about me and what is not about me. And if you face something what is about you, you don't need to discuss with the other one. It is for yourself to recognize, oh, he might be right. So probably I should change on that point. Probably I should reflect on myself. Maybe it is a part of my character I really adore. Maybe I want to change it. But this is an inner working you do. So, and the very moment when you don't allow other ones to track you down, you will face that there is not that much energy loss anymore. Same about the feeling of I don't want to get there in the morning when you see it, and when you face you gotta go for work. There are two ways. If it is all too draining, get yourself another job. If it is draining but you basically love your job, maybe change the gaze of you. What is my skill to do? What is the benefit on this? For example, as an empath, it is a very stupid idea from the first case to work in a customer service where you got contacts to people who are not happy with whatever, so, and you try to figure out how to help them. It is not a good base for an empath if you don't shield. On the other side, it is a perfect place to an empath. You have to make sure not to get harmed by, but you are the one digging through the telephone, through the voice, into the energy field of the other one. And you're learning a hell of stuff about these people while you're trying to figure out how to help them. So it is a perfect place, but it is also draining energy. So you have to make conscious, if you choose to proceed your job, what is my benefit? What is my outcome if I do this? And if you figure out there is no outcome to me, you probably should check for another place to work. However, energy loss can also be in family life. So if you got, for example, an overcaring mother or overcaring father who is draining on you, you got your own flat in that house or your own room, and the other one is calling when so ever. Every 10 minutes. Dear, do you want something? Dear, can I bring something? Dear, would you be so nice to empty the laundry? Dear, would you would you know what I mean? All the time impacting your life so you cannot even think freely for yourself. This is when you have to learn to set boundaries. It's not about they want to drain you. It's not about they want to weaken you. No, they really care about you. But by caring about you, they are very, very, very clinchy. And so you barely can breathe. And this is when the point comes when you say, hey, mom, I'm going out for a walk. Or I need my free space. Can I have just an hour for myself? So this, for example. It can happen on friends who show up every day, sit down at your table and talking for hours. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to meet friends. It's cool to discuss hell and earth up and down. Totally. But not every day. Because you got a working time, you got some free time, some relaxing time, some time to eat. And when there are people all the time around you, you got no space to think for yourself, to be with yourself. So there you could do some, again, stoic approach for stepping back inside and saying, okay, all the table is now chatting, but I'm just sitting here drinking my coffee, and I just follow up the talkings, but I do not need to involve. I just listen. This could be one option to do. Also, energy loss is if you construct it by yourself. So you make a plan. I want to buy a shelf and I screw it together all myself. And also I want to do a painting. And by the way, I'm doing a video. So I have to do this video also. And I want to spread it via social media as well. And by the way, I'm writing a book and, and reading a book was on my list as well. So you pack everything together. And in the end, you're sitting there in the evening and you think, whoa, where did the day go? Why didn't I do? Why didn't I make to finish my stuff? Because you overpushed yourself. Set a frame. Tuesday nights I'm writing. Half an hour before I get to bed, I read a little. What has the benefit to close your eyes so you better sleep? Or if you listen to music, do it when you're painting, for example. So sort your times. Structure. I know we are working in a very chaotic frame, and mostly this chaos is a very inspiring and creative thing. But if it takes control, you cannot see your results, and you feel overwhelmed, and you're not getting ready. So this feels like an energy loss because you're at every place at the same time. You have to get a little more structure, and you will face that in that moment you also kick free more energy. Also, of course, I know this is something I'm not the best at all. Sleeping. Nobody tells you to sleep 10 hours per night, but 4 hours per night is a little less if you do it all the week. So you don't need to be surprised if at the next day you feel totally overwhelmed and you lack from energy. How shall your body restore if you don't sleep? So same about nutrition. There are people who handle carbons very good. And then there are people such as me who love carbons, but I shouldn't do because my body is kicking into insulin high. I did tell on other videos before. And also I add some teas and some plants around so to get a good balance in my body chemical system. This is something you should keep an eye on as well, because not every nutrition is good for you. And if you feel drained, probably change your nutrition. This could be a problem as well. So if people are speaking about energy vampirism, most put it to an entity and say, this one is draining my energy, or this person is draining my energy. Can be. But in that way, act accordingly. Take care for the context you got in a spiritual, non-material frame. Make sure you got an exchange, not a drain. And in human point, if you got people around you who are draining your energy, who are demanding on you, who are tracking your focus all the time, just set boundaries. Say, okay, sorry, I got no time right now. Let's get in touch in an hour or tomorrow or next week. So make sure to have some free space. In that moment, they cannot drain on you. If they make you aggressive, switch into a stoic pattern. They try to make you aggressive. They want to make you respond, because if you respond, they got an energy line to you. So simply keep cool. If they cannot make you angry, they cannot make a contact. When it comes to daily life and own frames, if you overload yourself by work, make sure to get a little more structure about. And so basically all this should give you a huge load more of energy. Also about this esoteric stuff about this entity are sucking you, draining you, I can just tell you, I got some entities I'm working with. And these entities, when I am working with them and when I'm exchanging with them, I am on high fire. This is when I don't sleep, because in that case, I'm writing into dark into night. I'm full inspired. And this is not a draining, this is a pushing. So whatever you do, consciousness is the first thing to do, not fear, and try to figure out where your lack of energy roots before you blame on entities. So this for today, and I wish you a wonderful one. Feel free to ask if you got any questions, and of course not forget to subscribe my channel if you want to stay updated. See you next time.